is one of the premier sprint car racing events in the country, bar none, the 26th annual East Bay Winternationals at Tampa, Florida. Good evening, everybody. I'm DC Bash. Welcome to Dirt Zone. A humdinger tonight, kicking off 4 nights of racing, $26,000 going to the winner on Saturday night. Last year's winner from Hooks, Texas, the 8-time NCRA champion, Garrett Wright, took home the money. But Joey Saldana took 2 of these last year, so he's hungry for some more. Great field of sprint cars, over 60 in the house to rock East Bay tonight. Let's get busy and race and throw it up top to the voice of Dirt Zone, Rick Eshelman.
Thanks, DC. Welcome, everyone, to Dirt Zone. We're at the beautiful East Bay Raceway in Gibsonton, Florida. Of course, this is night number 1 of the 26th annual Florida Winternationals, the All-Star Circuit of Champions, coming to Stan Colin's power plant for racing tonight. The 1/3 mile semi-bank clay oval should provide some great racing action here for the All-Star Circuit of Champions as they continue their Florida trek. Taking a look at the field tonight, 66 cars in the pits, 5 10-lap heat races. There'll be 2 10-lap Georgia Marketing and Promotion C-Main events. Of course, the 12-lap B and tonight's 25-lap, 4,000 to win AMain event. We're going to head down pit side. DC Bash is with the Brownsburg Bullet, Joey Saldana, driver of the number 92 Ashworth entry.
Okay, the 26th annual East Bay National, standing here with Joey Saldana, which many say pretty much the dominant force down here at East Bay last year. Joey, how you feeling as we head into tonight?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like it could rain tonight, and the track's pretty wet. But we drew 66, so that's pretty good out of 70 fills. Usually, Volusia, you want to go out early to qualify, and East Bay, you want to go out late. So, you know, if everything goes our way and we qualify good enough to be in the front of the top 6 inversion, then we have a shot at winning tonight.
Speaking of Volusia, you got close over at Volusia. Track was definitely hard, slick, started taking rubber a lot. You got close, but you didn't get that checkered flag. As many checkered flags you took down here last year, you got to be hungry by now.
Oh, yeah, when we come down to East Bay for the 360s, we were close a couple times and just missed it a little bit. And then at Volusia, we had a good car. We were passing cars. I thought, capable of winning one of the nights, but, you know, you got to have a lot of luck in this sport. And when you're racing with the competition that's down here, you got to make sure you make no mistakes. So you just come into East Bay and do the same thing you do all the other times. You give 110% and hope you got a little luck going your way.
Plenty of big names in the house tonight, so you definitely have to have your A game in place.
Definitely. I mean, when you got guys like Stevie Smith, Dan Lasowski, Craig Delansky, Paul McMahon, I mean, they're the top drivers in the United States, and, you know, you got to come down here and make sure you do everything right if you're going to beat them. I mean, we're just going to try and do the best we can. Denny Ashworth's provided me with a good race car, and, you know, Denny doesn't have the money that a lot of them teams have that are down here right now, so if we run up front with them, we're happy.
Wish you the very best here tonight at East Bay and the rest of the 2002 season. Joey Saldana.
Thanks.
All right, back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. Taking a look at the All-Star Circuit of Champions point standings after 4 events. Lance DeWeese on top with 192. Kenny Jacobs second. Chad Kemenaugh, Tim Schaefer, and Dean Jacobs to round out the field. Once again, Bash is down pit side, and he's with the driver of the U2, Paul McMahon.
Okay, the United Express line number U2, Paul McMahon here at East Bay tonight. Paul, incredible show the other night with Daniel Lasowski. Thought you had it, bud.
Oh, you know, I thought we had a shot at him there the other night, but wasn't to be. You know, he saw the rubber when I got alongside of him, and then I wasn't able to clear him. So it's part of the deal when it lays rubber like that. They just kind of get in line, and hopefully a guy makes a mistake, and Danny doesn't make too many.
Rubber was a real factor the other night, actually all week long at Volusia, and we're going to a heavy track tonight. Let's talk about setups for East Bay.
Oh, it's totally different racetracks. I mean, here the racetrack stays wet all night. It usually gets 1 or 2 lanes. You know, with the rain we got coming down a little bit right now, and as much water as they got on the racetrack, it might be pretty boring tonight. It might be almost as if it was laying rubber, but just a lot more mud on the race cars.
You've been a Rookie of the Year in the past with the All-Stars, and broke some news the other night. I know the news is out a little bit, but it was news to everybody on TV. Going to be running a little bit with the All-Stars this year.
Yeah, this year with Warren Johnson, he didn't want to travel as much like we did last year with World of Outlaws. So, you know, I don't care where I race. I just want to race, and as long as I can make a living doing what I love to do, it's a great thing. And so we put together a schedule, and you know, we'll be about 80% of the All-Star races, and we're going to hit some, you know, some of the Outlaw stuff and some of the Gum Out stuff, and try to make as much money and run as much as we can. You know, when the All-Stars only have a one-day show and we can go somewhere else and run 2 or 3, we're going to go do that. But for the most part, the All-Stars are paying real well this year, and and they got a lot of races. So and they're close to home. And that's the main thing is Warren wants to see his race car run. So we'll be close to home, and that's where the All-Stars run, and I'm happy to do it.
Going to be good to see the U2 back in the field a couple of times this year, so we'll see you then. Good luck throughout 2002 season, and of course here at East Bay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Paul McMahon, back to you, Rick.
All right, DC, settle in, race fans. We're getting ready to go as Jack Hewitt takes the famous two-seater around the 3rd mile, East Bay Raceway. We've got to take a commercial break, but we'll be back with some great racing action from the Sunshine State in a moment. This is Dirt Zone. First heat event, the Crown Battery. Heat race number 1 finds Terry McCarl out of Midwest Mafia in the 24. Scott Bonnell in number 3. Todd Kane inside of row 2, and he's flanked by the Brownsburg Bullet, Joey Saldana in Ashworth's number 92. Tim Schaefer will be in the number 5 spot in 45, and it's Chad Kemenaugh in the Underground Utilities Incorporated 15K. The Mouse, Kenny Jacobs in the Jacobs Motorsports number 6, Zach Chappell in 50Z, Sean Cheney in 27C, Christy Passmore in the 1, Travis Ryland in 1A, Joe Melnick in 8M, and Spud Guston in the 10G as we are ready to go. Green is out. We are underway here at East Bay Raceway. Down the backstretch, it's Saldana with the early lead as they thunder through turn number 3. Keeping right up with them, though, is Chad Kemenaugh. Todd Kane in front of the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs. And there goes the number 24 of Terry McCarl. McCarl leading him through the corner. Scott Bonnell running in that 2nd spot. Running 3rd, there's the Ashworth entry, and running 4th, it's Tim Schaefer in the number 45. Into turn 3, Schaefer trying to close the ground on Denny Ashworth's ImperialPackaging.com number 92, but can't make the move. Chad Kemenaugh sitting back in the middle of the pack, still trying to move up. Tight racing around East Bay Raceway as laps turn by pretty quick. And now the 92 of Saldana feels the heat from Tim Schaefer. Schaefer getting that left run up off the ground, but the hammers are back down the backstretch. And Kemenaugh closing in now on Tim Schaefer. Good battle going on in the middle of the pack. Kenny Jacobs running all by himself. Todd Kane starting to lose some ground now to the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, and Kane not having the setup he wants. McCarl putting a lap on Spud Guston across the line. Terry McCarl having his way with the field right now as Guston having some handling problems here early on in the event. But it's Tim Schaefer making the pass around Guston, and Schaefer continuing to run strong here in Crown Battery Heat Race number 1. Chad coming on to 15K, still trying to gain ground on Tim Schaefer. The Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, going to the outside of Spud Guston, and he'll put him a lap down as we continue on the Jacobs Motorsports number 6, last year's defending champion. And he is having a rough go right now as Chad Kemenaugh had fast time and a new track record at 11:6:38, and that is getting around this oval in a quick way. But Kemenaugh not in the lead, it's all Terry McCarl. McCarl still having Scott Bonnell chase him, but Terry McCarl is lighting it up. And across the line, he'll take the checkered flag. 2nd goes to Scott Bonnell. 3rd will go to Joey Saldana. 4th to Tim Schaefer. 5th will go to fast qualifier Chad Kemenaugh. The Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, gets 6th and does not make the feature through Crown Battery Heat Race number 1. It's all Terry McCarl in the number 24. He'll go to the scales, and he'll go into a feature event tonight, of course, $4,000 going to the winner. And Terry McCarl looked awful strong in heat number 1. We've still got 4 more heats to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment. We're at East Bay Raceway in Gibsonton, Florida on Dirt Zone.
Welcome back to winningest sprint car driver in America last year. 3 track championships at Knoxville, 4 at Huset's. Is that the count so far?
5 at Huset's is 4 in a row, but who's counting? I don't know.
Yeah, who's counting when you get to that many? But great job last year. You didn't have the run you wanted to last week at Volusia, but you look like you're pretty cranky tonight winning Heat 1.
We're just doing some testing down here, especially last week at Volusia. We're testing the Penske shocks. Haven't really ran those. Run across a few problems with that, but I think we'll get the bugs worked out of it. We qualified a little bit off tonight, but again, we run good in Florida most of the time, but you come down here, try to test, try to learn for the rest of the year. It's really not the same as it is anywhere else in the country. But when you're fast, you're fast. If you're not, you're not. And right now, we're not. So we got to pick it up just a pace.
Plans for 02, pretty much pulling out the guns again with Knoxville.
Yeah, I won't go for the championship at Houston. So that's the one thing. We'll go up there quite a bit. I got my driving school up there. I got a 2-seater now too for back to the Midwest. But we'll try to win the Knoxville championship again. No one's ever won it 4 times, but a lot of stiff competition back there. Got work cut out for us. But we're gonna give our best shot and travel around as much as we can afford to.
The All-Stars love to see you out with us. You're a big draw, and we hope to see you throughout 2002 a lot.
Hopefully we can see you after the winner's circle tonight.
All right, there it is. Terry McCarl, winner of heat number 1. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. We are ready for B&B Oval Products Heat Race number 2. Phil Gressman on the pole in the number 9. Blake Feast in the 1F. Rodney Duncan in 22 and Fast Freddie Raymer in the 88. Tyler Walker will start on the inside of row number 3 in 35. He'll be flanked by Johnny Gilbertson in the 6X. Jason Sides in 7S and Sport Allen in the 88. Terry Pletch in 29. The V8 of the Juice, Jeff Hodgson. Back row, Kurt Winkler in the number 10. And Jack Hewitt in the number 31, the veteran out of Troy, Ohio. Down in Florida to try his luck as we get green. B&B Oval Products Heat Race number 2 is underway, and Blake Feast taking the early lead, jumping out front. And we have got problems over in turn number 1. Caution flag coming out. It's the Juice, Jeff Hodgson in the wall. And that'll slow him down as Hodgson not negotiating turn number 1. Tore the car up pretty bad over there. We'll try it again on the restart. Phil Gressman on the inside. Blake Feast on the outside. Taking a look at green this time by. Good start, and we're underway. Again, Blake Feast takes the jump on the number 9 of Phil Gressman, leading them down the backstretch. They thunder through the corners. Tyler Walker running the middle groove. Jason Sides closing in on him, and Freddie Raymer also right there as they head into 1 and 2 again. Quick laps around East Bay. Not a lot of time to make a mistake, and you got to make your moves quick here in Gibsonton, Florida. Beautiful night for racing, and the cars are hooked up once again tonight with a new track record, but caution comes out again, this time over in turn number 2. 3 cars involved. The number 10 of Kurt Winkler over there, also the NBC steering and pump number 31 of Jack Hewitt involved, and we'll line them up and stack them one more time. You also see on the Cali's Performance scoreboard, there's 1 in, 9 to go, so now it's a single file restart, nose to tail. Blake Feast, the number 88 of Freddie Raymer, Phil Gressman, Rodney Duncan, and Tyler Walker, the top 5 as we get set to go green, nose to tail. They hit the line in turn 4, we're back to racing. Into 1 and 2 again, it's Blake Feast with the lead. Down the backstretch, Tyler Walker feeling the heat now from Jason Sides. Sides working the inside, and in trouble is Tyler Walker, and just gets missed by a couple cars. Walker bringing out the caution flag. Looked like something might have been wrong on that machine as he was heading down the back chute. But we did get 1 more in, so 2 laps in, 8 to go on the Cali's Performance scoreboard. Blake Feast continuing to lead. Fast Freddie Raymer running in that 2nd spot as we go back to green. Jason Sides seems to be the man on the move right now in the 7S car, working in the top 5, but he's got Freddie Raymer on the back push bar as they head in through 3 and 4. Rodney Duncan in 22 can hear both the 88 of Raymer and the 7 of Sides, and Raymer gets by Sides. Freddie Raymer is going to get a challenge now from Sides as they head down the back chute and into 3, and Sides will take him on the inside. Jason Sides having a good run here in the 7S car is Fast Freddie Raymer, one of the best in the business. He's given him all he wants, and he's been able to handle it. Your leader, Blake Feast, is off the pace. Blake Feast having a problem in the 1F car as he coasts through turns 3 and 4. And now we're going to have a little bit of a shake-up in the lineup. Moving into the pit area goes Blake Feast. It's Fast Freddie Raymer in the number 88 out front. Raymer benefiting from Feast's problem, and Freddie Raymer, remember he switched rides. He's been in the 77 for eons, now in the 88 that Lance Deweese used to pilot. Gressman moves up to 2nd, Rodney Duncan 3rd, Jason Sides running in that 4th spot. So a little bit of a change of the guard here up front. Jason Sides continuing to work on Rodney Duncan in the HTI number 22, and down on the inside, Sides across the line. He'll take the spot away from Rodney Duncan. Jason Sides having a stellar run here in B&B Oval Products Heat Race number 2 as the white comes out, 1 to go. Fast Freddie Raymer way out front in this one. He's going to be going to the feature event if he can point her in the right direction coming out of turn number 4. Checker flag waves, Freddie Raymer your winner. 2nd will go to Phil Gressman with a solid ride. Jason Sides looked awful strong running 3rd. 4th was Rodney Duncan, and Sport Allen picking up a top 5 spot. As you can see, your winner, Freddie Raymer, in the number 88, benefiting from Blake Feast's misfortune, and the Miller Chevrolet sponsored machine is going to the feature event. We've got a lot more racing action to go, so don't go too far or you'll miss something on Dirt Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. Winner of heat number 2, Fast Freddie Raymer, laying it down already here at East Bay, man. Nice run.
Yeah, we were lucky we got through there, and hopefully we'll be able to get it right for the feature.
Volusia, you didn't have the week you wanted to have. You got up in there, finished up some top 10s, but you want to nail yourself down and establish yourself a little quicker tonight, don't you?
Yeah, we'd like to, you know, but it's a tough group of cars. We're just learning to work together. Hopefully we'll be able to get going, progress every night, and just keep getting better, so we'll see.
You're known to be a dominator of the infamous PA posse with names like Lance Louise, Shawn Michael, Johnny Mackison. I mean, that kind of competition week in and week out, it makes you a great driver, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, or you don't have a ride, so, you know, but there's a good group of cars here. I'll tell you, it's a tough field of cars here tonight, so we'll see. I think we'll be okay, but, you know, you go out there and learn, see what happens.
Fred, good job in heat number 2, and we'll see you in the AMain.
Okay, thanks.
Fast Fred Raymer, winner of heat number 2. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. It's time for Engler Machine and Tool heat race number 3. The Jet, Jeff Shepard, on the pole in the 3 car. Dean Jacobs in John Baker's number 34 will start on the outside. Byron Reed goes from the 3rd hole. Shawn Michael will start 4th in the number 1. Then it's the 8H Holbrook entry of Shane Stewart. The Dude, Danny Lasowski, in the Tony Stewart Motorsports number 20. He'll go from 6th. Kevin Fry in 2K. Rookie contender Bruce Romanalt in the 98. Tom Bush in the 4B. Barry Rubel in 63. George Suprick in 87. Dickie Gaines, the veteran son, now racing in the number 70. And Jason Johnson in 44 as we go green. Out of turn number 2, good side-by-side action. The Dude gets around the 1 of Shawn Michael, and he sets sail into turn number 3. Danny Lasowski, outlaw champion of 2001, in the JD Byrider number 20. Had a pretty good show over at the Volusia Speedway Park earlier on in Speed Weeks, and now over here at East Bay, seeming to bring the momentum with him. But right now, it's the Cat, Dean Jacobs, in the number 34. Switching to the John Baker Excavating sponsor machine for this year as Lasowski goes to the inside of Byron Reed. They're side by side in turn number 3. Reed in the middle groove. Lasowski on that patented bottom groove. Wherever he runs, he likes the bottom. And it looks like Jeff Shepard may have some problems. Heavy smoke billowing out of the number 3. And a little bit of flame shooting out now. Light show for the fans as Jeff Shepard about to go up in smoke. Danny Lasowski getting a big bug spray as they go down the backstretch. A little bit tough to see for Lasowski. He's going to have to be careful until Shepard's car either falls out or makes a bad mistake. Lasowski's going to look at him on the inside, but had to go around the lap car of Jason Johnson. Byron Reed in the number 5, chasing Lasowski down. Into 3 and 4. Reed way up in the cushion, almost lost it, but hangs on. The number 1 of Shawn Michael, about a half a lap behind as we take a look up front. Now working on Barry Rubel is the Cat, Dean Jacobs, in the number 34. Next victim, George Suprick in the number 87. He'll go around him. And Dean Jacobs finally shaking the monkey off his back, having a good ride down here in Florida. Danny Lasowski continues to work through the lap traffic, trying to chase down Dean Jacobs. Byron Reed now runs on the bottom of the racetrack. He was up high a couple laps ago, trying to find a good line. Hasn't been able to do it yet. But the Cat, Dean Jacobs, working the number 34 as Shane Stewart goes to the inside of Barry Rubel. Stewart in the Holbrook entry, 8H car on the white flag, still trying to close in on the leaders, but it's all Dean Jacobs in the number 34. He'll go around Dickie Gaines and take the checkered flag to win Engler Machine and Tool heat race number 3. Finishing in that second spot will be the number 3 of Jeff Shepard. He hung on, the motor lasted. 3rd goes to the Dude, Danny Lasowski. 4th to Byron Reed, and Shawn Michael just edges Shane Stewart for the number 5 spot. Well, Dean Jacobs back in the winner's circle. Always good to see the driver out of Worcester, Ohio pick up a win. We have to pick up a commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. This is Dirt Zone.
Okay, not looking too bad. The John Baker Excavating car, the 34 of Dean Jacobs, winning heat number 3, man. Not bad.
No, it's, you know, we didn't qualify real well, but if you qualify bad enough to be on the front row, you got to take advantage of that. You know, you get points for them heat races, so you need to win them. And Bonsai had the car really nice, and hey, we got out there and run the race good and won the race.
Says a lot for John Baker. You guys are getting together. This team's starting to come together. You got Bonsai with you. I know you loved him last year. Did a great job for you. This team coming in pretty good for you quickly.
Right. It's great. I mean, everybody's getting along. John's a good car owner, and Bonsai knows me pretty well, so where, like John says, you don't even ask him what he's doing. I said, no, I trust him. You know, I just get in there and drive the thing, and 99% of the time it's going to be pretty nice, so I just gas her up.
You're always known to push the envelope. It wins big, it loses big, but man, you're always on the edge of the risk. I love it.
Hey, you never know your limits till you go beyond them once in a while, and sometimes we do that.
Well said. Dean Jacobs, winner of heat number 3. Good luck in the AMain.
Thanks, guys.
All right, back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. We're ready for TP Wings heat race number 4. Greg Wilson on the pole in the Hampshire, number 63. Jason Johnson, the Racing Cajun out of Louisiana, in 41. Then it's Billy Pouch in 55 and Mike Wagner in the black 55. The old Jared Hall ride now belonging to Danny Smith. Guy Webb's number 51. He'll start 5th. Paul McMahon in U2 goes 6th. Then Mike Woodring in the 19 and Wayne Johnson in 29. Mike Erdley in 11. Rookie contender Bill Rose in the 6B. Kurt Trainer in 36, Doug Day in 2, and Joe Bastillos in the number 37 as we get set for green. TP Wings heat race number 4. 8 laps the distance. Green is out, and the Racing Cajun out of Eunice, Louisiana grabs the early lead. He'll take Wilson and Wagner into turn 2 and down the backstretch. Billy Pouch running in that number 4 spot as Pouch works on Wagner. Running 5th, Paul McMahon, and Jason Johnson off the pace in 41. The Racing Cajun out of Eunice, Louisiana, having a problem right at the start of this event. As they head down the backstretch, Danny Smith goes to the inside of Wayne Johnson. He'll make the pass, made it look easy. Guy Webb's number 51 now with Danny Smith for the 2002 season. And it seems Danny Smith is fitting right into that cockpit extremely well. McMahon goes around Billy Pouch, and Paul McMahon in the U2 looking pretty strong here early at East Bay Raceway. Billy Pouch trying to battle back, but you can see he's got a terrible slide in that car. Car not handling well at all in heat race number 4, and he's going to have a lot of work to do on that to maybe even get in this AMain here tonight. As Danny Smith works on Billy Pouch now, looking up front towards the lead. Coming out of turn number 4 and in control. Greg Wilson still chasing him down. The 55 of Wagner running just ahead of the U2 of Paul McMahon as McMahon hammering hard into turn number 3, closing a gap on the 55 of Wagner. Wagner closing in on the number 63 of Greg Wilson. Wilson down the backstretch. Here's a lot of rumble now as they go around the 2-car of Doug Day. Now Billy Pouch has found some speed, and he closes back in on Mike Wagner in the 55. Some good racing action here as they go around Joe Bastillos. Now Billy Pouch has to decide, do I go low, do I go high? He'll go on the outside of Joe Bastillos, but that's going to help Mike Wagner and Paul McMahon. Danny Smith now getting into the battle. Good racing action here in heat race number 4. Danny Smith jumping the cushion, and Paul McMahon goes around Mike Wagner. Now Danny Smith will try Wagner on the inside, and Wagner all of a sudden has handling problems. Across the line, closing in on the end of TP Wings heat race number 4. Greg Wilson in the Barfields Gibsonton Fruit Hampshire Motors number 63 looks awful strong, and across the line he will take the event. Second place will go to Billy Pouch. Third to Paul McMahon. Danny Smith comes home 4th. Mike Wagner rounding out the top 5. Tough break on Jason Johnson, but good break for the Benton Ridge, Ohio native, Greg Wilson, who picks up a big heat race win here, moving to the AMain event. More cars are locked in. We still have one heat race left to go. Should be a dandy as East Bay has provided some good racing action in the heat event so far. You think you saw it all? You haven't seen nothing yet. We'll be back on Dirt Zone.
Welcome back, winner of heat number 4. Greg Wilson had an incredible run over at Volusia last week, looking pretty good in the heat race so far here at East Bay.
Yeah, not too bad. Just trying some new tires here for American Racer, and they seem to get the job done there in the heat race. I don't know what we'll do in the future. We got to start a pretty long ways back, but hopefully we can get up through the field and get some points for Saturday night.
Those American Racers came in for you over at Volusia. East Bay, characteristic to be pretty heavy, but didn't look too bad tonight when the whole world's gone Hoosier.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad there, and they're still working hard, and I don't know what we'll do in the future, like I said, and hopefully when we get back home, we're going to have our act together and do it right.
Things are looking good so far. Good luck in the AMain.
All right, thank you.
Greg Wilson, winner of heat number 4. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. We're ready for heat race number 5, the final event before we go to C&B mains in the A. On the pole, multiple NCRA champion Gary Wright in the number 9, then the 19 of Stevie Smith in his own ride. Greg Hodnett in the Apple Chevrolet 12, Kelly Kinzer in the 4K. The crowd pleaser, Craig Delansky in 7, and the 77 of Lance Deweese. Michael Dupuy in the 4M, Johnny Mackison in 65, Leonard Lee in 16L, Eric Heisong in 72. Jody Keegan in K60, Darren Clayton in 92, the veteran Johnny Johnson in 72, Bill Kiley in 4K. Here we go, final heat event, last chance to get in. They thunder into the corners, and the 77 of Lance Deweese brought the front wheels up. Nevertheless, gets it pointed in the right way. Gary Wright out front early. He's got the 19 of Stevie Smith. Smith in his own car before he changes over. In the Outlaws this year, this will be the last time you'll see the 19 car in competition anywhere, anytime, as he makes a new ride for 2002. Greg Delansky, the crowd pleaser, going around Greg Hodnett. And Delansky having a good run early. Lance Deweese in 77, chasing down the number 4 of Kelly Kinzer. And Kinzer uncharacteristically running the middle groove. He's really hanging it out on the edge. Normally he runs right along the bottom where the worms like to sit, but right now he's got a little bit of a problem handling, if you will, because Kelly Kinzer can hug the rail like no others, and he is hung out to dry in that center groove. Gary Wright picked up the big $25,000 here last year, the finale at East Bay Raceway, looking awful strong to be a contender here this week in the number 9. Lance Deweese in 77 trying to get by Stevie Smith. Stevie Smith in his own number 19 car, staying ahead of Deweese for the moment. Remember, Deweese drove the 88 for many years until this year as the caution flag come out. And Fast Freddie Raymer was in that 77 that Deweese is in now, but the caution has waved, and it's Jody Keegan in the K60, the driver out of Fremont, coming to rest out of turn number 2. Callie's performance scoreboard shows we're halfway, 5 in, 5 to go. Gary Wright, Stevie Smith, Lance Deweese, Kelly Kinzer, and Craig Delansky, the top 5. Then it's Greg Hodnett and Eric Heisong, and Hodnett all of a sudden finds himself out of a transfer spot as we go back to green. Delansky now getting a battle from Hodnett, but Delansky will pull away. Didn't want any part of that. He wants to get underneath Kelly Kinzer, who seems to have handling problems right now. Kelly Kinzer not able to hug the rail like he's used to doing. And Hodnett's going to try on the outside Craig Delansky. Greg Hodnett running the cushion as they head into turn number 3. Stevie Smith can feel the heat from the 77 of Lance Deweese. Smith continuing to hold down the number 2 spot. And now Delansky works the outside of Kelly Kinzer as Kinzer has brought it down, back down along the bottom of the racetrack, and now it's up to the Polydome Caravan, number 7 of Craig Delansky, to see if he can get by. And it looks like Kinzer's still having handling problems all over the racetrack, low in one corner and high in the next. Leaders have already gone by the number 72 of Johnny Johnson. And Lance Deweese in 77 continuing to work Stevie Smith. Got to be wondering, am I wearing the tires out in this heat race alone? As the checkered flag comes out, it doesn't matter. All gone by the wayside now. Gary Wright is your winner. Stevie Smith comes home second, Deweese third. Kelly Kinzer finishes 4th, and Craig Delansky rounding out the top 5. And once again, NCRA's best, Gary Wright in the number 9 in the Southwest Express sponsored machine. Going to victory lane, the Pinnell Motorsports car, picking up checkered flag in heat race number 5. We'll be back on Dirt Zone.
Welcome back, winner of heat number 5, the man that clearly has this place figured out, last year's champion, Gary Wright. Man, look good out there, pal.
The car was really good in the heat. I think we'd have had a good car timing. We had a kill switch wire brake, and it was grounding out on the dash, so it wasn't running real good when I time trialed, so we run a bad time, but the car's really good.
We've only seen you one night at Florida Speed Week so far, but turned out to be a good decision. You virtually dominated down at Okeechobee last week.
Well, we had a lot of fun. We run a couple of nights without a wing, and been 15, 16 years since I run without a wing. We was able to win a couple of those, so it was a lot of fun.
You've won a lot of all-star races through the years. You're multi-time champion for the NCRA. You're an incredible runner, but what is it about East Bay? You seem to have this place figured out.
You know, I don't really know. It was, I guess, around 93, all of a sudden it just clicked on how to get around here, and ever since then we've been good. I really don't know why. It's not that much different, but we've been good ever since.
The All-Stars love you, and we love seeing you out with us, Gary, but good luck in the AMain tonight.
I'm going to need it, thanks.
Gary Wright, winner of heat number 5. Back to you, Rick.
Well, thanks, Bash. We're ready to go with Georgia Marketing and Promotion AMain highlights. And out front, The number 29 of Wayne Johnson being chased by local hero Sport Allen in the number 88. Wayne Johnson with Tweety on the wing, setting sail out of turn number 4. Sport Allen a distant second. And the checkered flag waves moving into the B main. The top 2 finishers, Wayne Johnson, Sport Allen. They'll tag onto the back of the B, which comes up a little bit later. As you can see, the rest of the field making their way across. And in C main number 2, this time the 65 of Johnny Mackison with the lead, but it's the 29 of Terry Pletch battling side by side with Eric Heisong for the final transfer spot to get them to the B main. Pletch got the jump on him, then went to work on Mackison on the outside for the win. Nevertheless, Mackison took the inside line, and out of turn number 4, Johnny Mackison come home the winner. Terry Pletch came home second. Everybody else became a spectator. Those 2 drivers tag on to the back of the B main. B main highlights now. Out of turn number 4 on the start, Chad Kemenow, Tyler Walker, Shane Stewart, and the rest of the field took the green. And it was Chad Kemenow, fast qualifier with a new track record, having to start on the pole of the B. And good battling going on early on in the event. Taking a look at lap number 3, Craig Delansky worked the inside of Shane Stewart, made the pass on lap 3, picked up the 3rd spot. Then Delansky on lap number 8 goes to work on Tyler Walker in the number 35, and that is the battle for the 2nd position. Out of turn number 4, the Polydome Caravan crowd pleaser number 7 took over position number 2, and down the backstretch they went the next time by. You see Chad Kemenow in the 15K working the inside. Craig Delansky running in 2nd, gets sideways. Tyler Walker taps him, and Walker spins, and that eliminated him from making the AMain event. What a tough break for Walker as a checkered flag came out. It was Chad Kemenow, Craig Delansky, Shane Stewart, and Shawn Michael. Those 4 cars move into the tail at the AMain event tonight. 25 laps, $4,000 to win. It's gonna be a battle in Florida on Dirt Zone. We are now ready for tonight's 25 lap, $4,000 to win AMain feature event. The All-Star Circuit of Champions saluting the fans with the 4 abreast parade lap, of course, with the missing man formation in courtesy of the recently departed Ron Laney, who lost his life in a 360 sprint accident here during the Florida Winternationals a week or so ago. Tough on the racing world when you lose one of your own, and of course, the All-Stars, just like any other group, pay tribute to their fallen heroes. John Bankston lost his life last year, of course, at Eldora, so we keep that in memory. Shane Stewart on the pole in 8H, and Tim Schaefer in 45. Lance DeWeese in the 77, Paul McMahon in U2. Danny Lasowski in 20, and Chad Kemenow in 15K. Danny Smith in 51, Craig Delansky in 7, Joey Saldana in 92, Freddie Raymer in 88. Shawn Michael in the 1Z, Kelly Kinzer in 4K, Rodney Duncan in 22, Byron Reed in 5, row 8 has Billy Pouch in 55, Scott Fennell in 3, Dean Jacobs in 34, Stevie Smith in 19, Terry McCarl in 24, Gressman in 9, Jeff Shepard in 3, Greg Wilson in 63, Gary Wright and Jason Sides in row 12, Johnny Gilbertson, Tyler Walker in row 13 as we thunder out of 4. Green is out, we're underway. 25 laps, $4,000 up for grabs. First night of Florida Speed Weeks, the Winternationals 26th annual at East Bay Raceway. Everybody getting straightened out now after the start, and they're going to pick their lines because 25 laps doesn't take long here, and they have got to run the best because they are all running with the best. Down the backstretch into 3. The 8H of Shane Stewart going underneath. Lance DeWeese in 77. Can't make the move. It's the dude running the bottom of the racetrack. Freddie Raymer likes it up high. Raymer battling now with Paul McMahon and Danny Lasowski. Fast Freddie Raymer right by the wall in the backstretch and dives down low in turn number 3. He's underneath McMahon, can't make the pass. He'll take it at battle into turns 1 and 2. Danny Smith in 51 ahead of Chad Kemenow. Now the 92. Joey Saldana getting a little bit of a beating on there by Billy Pouch. As Pouch now down on the inside. Saldana and Danny Ashworth's entry working the outside, but caution flag is out. That'll slow the field down up in turn number 1. It's the 3B of Scott Bonnell. Bonnell bringing out the first caution flag in this feature event, and that'll put him on the tail. Callie's performance scoreboard says 4 in, 21 to go. And right now, the number 45 of Tim Schaefer, Lance DeWeese in 77, the 8H of Shane Stewart running up front. Fast Freddie Raymer, you can see there, ahead of Danny Smith, Chad Kemenaugh, and Joey Saldana as we go back to green. Greg Delansky running in that 4th spot. The dude, Danny Lasowski, running 5th. Lasowski, always tough down in Florida. Every year it seems like he has great runs down here. We'll see what he can do tonight. As Danny Smith right on the inside of the U2 United Express sponsored machine of Paul McMahon, and they almost touched. They continue that war down the backstretch. Guy Webb's number 51 hugging the rail, and again, the U2 slams the door shut in Danny Smith's face. Paul McMahon really showing some muscle here in East Bay. And Denny Ashworth's 92 shows Joey Saldana, and he is running extremely high on this racetrack. You gotta wonder, is he gonna jump the cushion? Byron Reed tries his luck up top. Seems to work for the 92 of Saldana. He continues to ride the rim, and he's got it all hooked up. Down the front stretch and into 1 though, it's Tim Schaefer. Schaefer out front in the number 45. And Tim Schaefer also having a pretty good speed week so far down in Florida. Has had some great runs up top of the All-Star Circuit of Champions points early on. Of course, he won't run with the All-Stars all year long, but nevertheless, got to be putting a dent in some of the hopefuls' chances for that 2002 crown by collecting points down here in Florida. And that's what Speed Weeks is all about. The best from every sanction running together. This time they all get together with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, putting on a great show here for the fans in attendance at East Bay. Now, working traffic for the first time. Tim Schaefer closing in on Rodney Duncan and Jason Sides, and climbs Duncan and climbs the wall. Gets up in the air, lands on the side. Your leader is done. Oh, Tim Schaefer in 45 got on the right rear tire of Rodney Duncan, and you can see he's disgusted. Tim Schaefer getting that equipment off fast, and he is not a happy camper. Had the lead and was looking extremely strong, and he's out of that car in a hurry. Obviously okay, but definitely dejected. What a tough break for Tim Schaefer. The Hallmark Race Trailers replay shows that the 22 of Duncan kicked it just a little sideways, and Schaefer didn't back off. He just went for it, climbed the right rear tire, and that was it. As it lands back on all 4 or 3.5 wheels, if you will. Cali's Performance Scoreboard shows us 11 in, 14 to go. Just about to the halfway point, and that'll change it up now. Now it's Lance DeWeese in the number 77 out front, and boy, is that shaking up the group now. Single file order. Everybody back in their starting spot as we go green. Let's see what happens on the restart. We're back underway. Lance DeWeese, Danny the Dude Lasowski, and Shane Stewart going to the outside of Phil Gressman. Shane Stewart in the Holbrook Motorsports 8H entry. All of a sudden in the top 3. Down on the inside, Byron Reed takes 2 for the price of 1 out of turn number 4. Joey Saldana will go around the 15K of Chad Kemenaugh in turn number 2. And Billy Pouch once again getting back in the thick of the battle. Pouch has been very strange here tonight. He's looked good and then he's looked not so good. Right now it seems to be hooked up once again on the outside. Danny Smith getting pressure from the U2 of Paul McMahon. There's Gary Wright, Terry McCarl. Here tonight at East Bay Raceway, 66 cars came for action. New track record set, and we have got one heck of a battle going on here in this feature event. Down the backstretch, into turn number 3 and 4, and out of 4, Shane Stewart having a pretty nice ride in that 3rd spot, but the Dude Lasowski is 2nd, and Lance DeWeese out front in the number 77, lifts the front tires off the ground in 4, but keeps her pointed straight. And the Dude now gets dangerous. He is on the bottom of the racetrack where he is most lethal. Danny Lasowski in the number 20 car, working the bottom of the racetrack as DeWeese bounces through the corners. And into 1 and 2, Lance DeWeese can feel the heat of the Dude as they go down the back chute. Lasowski to the inside of DeWeese. Now they come up on the slower 6 car. Out of turn number 4, Lasowski gets pinched. DeWeese takes the lead again. Now they go to work on Jason Sides coming out of turn 2. Lap cars are coming into play now in the feature event. Lasowski on the bottom now takes a look up top. Can't seem to make it work in turn number 4 as DeWeese continuing to lead. But Lasowski's going to try it up high. They've got the slower car of Jason Sides in the way. And Lance DeWeese goes not only by Sides but also by Greg Wilson. and that's going to hurt Lasowski, who's now got to contend with 2 lap cars. He was chasing your leader, thought maybe the high group would work, did not make it. And now Craig Delansky all of a sudden running in the 3rd spot. Now the lap car's really pinching in Danny the Dude Lasowski. He'll get around Jason's sides, work the inside of the racetrack once again. But that little bit of traffic may have cost Lasowski the chance for the win. Craig Delansky working on lap traffic as well. He'll go underneath Greg Wilson in turn number 3. Down the front stretch your leaders come. And a good battle up front may have just went all to the number 77 of Lance Deweese. Made the correct choice. Didn't make a good choice earlier on with lap traffic, but this time figured it out quick. And all of a sudden, Danny Lasowski found 2 lap cars between him. But again, Lasowski has now made some good moves, and he's closing in again on Deweese. They go underneath the number 24 of Terry McCarl. White is out, 1 to go. Lance Deweese already with 2 feature wins down in Florida in February. Looking for win number 3. 3 wins at 3 different racetracks. Pretty big accomplishment, and it's gonna happen as Lance Deweese comes home your winner. Danny Lasowski will cross the line 2nd. Greg Delansky comes home 3rd with a great run. Shane Stewart also impressive, finishing 4th. Fast Freddie Raymer comes home in the number 5 spot. Byron Reed, Billy Pouch, Joey Saldana, Chad Kemenaugh, and Gary Wright round out the top 10. An all-star field with the All-Star Circuit of Champions here at East Bay Raceway, but it belongs again to Lance Deweese. 3 different tracks, 3 feature wins, and it just goes to show the East Coast boys know what they're doing, especially down in the Sunshine State. We'll be back on Dirt Zone.
Well, Rick, things couldn't be going better for this guy, man. That's 3 now down here in Florida. Incredible trip. Tim Schaefer's misfortune turns into Lance Deweese's good fortune. Good job.
Well, yeah, it's actually our 4th win down here since we've been down here. 3 in the 410s and 1 in 360s. But yeah, Tim had a little bit more misfortune there, run over that lap car. And, you know, we thought we get in lap traffic, I might be able to get a shot at him, but he was moving pretty good there. And I was just kind of settling down and trying to be smooth about it. And then Lasowski, I seen he was up to 2nd. Then when he wrecked, so yeah, we just try to get through lap cars because around this place, that's everything.
The motor was a problem early on. You didn't think we were going to get back for the AMain. You had to pull it and put a new one in. Things weren't working right for you throughout the evening, so it just go ahead and puts this accomplishment a little bit higher.
Well, we just had a part break that don't normally break on us. You know, my engine builder does a heck of a good job, and it was a brand new motor, about 3 races on. We just had a parts failure in it, and we put this one and we didn't have a whole lot of chance to look at the racetrack and see what we need to do with chassis. But yeah, the motor ran flawless, and I couldn't be happier right now.
I know you want to take another shot and try to bring home this $26,000, but this Hamilton team already is looking great. It's got to set the tone for the 2002 season back at home.
Well, I mean, I know a long time ago what you do down here don't necessarily mean anything when we get home. One of my best years in racing was my worst ever in Florida. So, yeah, hopefully we can carry the momentum home with us. But right now we're worrying about tomorrow, and we'll go on from there.
Looking great right now. Great job at AMain tonight.
Thank you.
Lance Deweese, your AMain winner here at East Bay on the first night of the 2nd week of Florida Speed Weeks. Back to you, Rick.
Well, thanks, Bash. And taking a look at some of the action tonight, of course, the Track Action Racing Collectibles heartbreak of the night, no doubt, hands down winner. Tim Schaefer leading the event, climbed the wheel, got into the wall, and let's go down to the dude.
Well, Rick, the dude, Daniel Lasowski, fought hard as he always does, but wasn't the winner's circle. But I know you want to get back during this Florida Speed Weeks.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go back to Daytona tonight and run IROC race tomorrow. We'll be back here, I hope, in time to run at least a C feature so we can run both shows tomorrow. Just hope for the best.
You made a great run at Lance Deweese there. Just about had him, but just pulled away at the last second.
Hey, he did a great job. You know, I had one shot. I kept waiting for him to slip up, and he slipped up, and the lap car stopped me, and that's what won the race. That was one move that won the race. He did his job. He took the line away. We're just going to come back and work a little harder.
Am I hearing the rumblings right? The pole of the IROC?
Outside front row.
Ouch! Sounded pretty good there. How do you contrast the two? I mean, was it tough to get used to it, or Tony Stewart help you with some pointers?
Well, absolutely. He helped us being prepared what's going to happen. Nothing's going to get you prepared for the race. You know, that's going to be a whole new deal. But, hey, we're just going to go out there and try to represent all of the dirt track racing and all the Pennzoil World of Outlaw guys and everybody here that helped us get to where we're at. You know, it's a very big honor for us to be elected to run the IROC Race of Champions, and maybe that'll open a door for other racers to do that because it's sure a great experience, and I hope someone else gets to do it.
You're a great spokesman and a great statesman for dirt racing so far. Good job here tonight. It's second, but it'll do. We'll see a checkered flag, I got a feeling.
Thank you very much.
Danny the Dude Lasowski, second place tonight. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks again, Bash. And now taking a look at Victory Lane as Lance Deweese holding that big trophy next week on Dirt Zone. Round 2, 26th Annual Winternationals from here at East Bay Raceway. Night number 1 was a good one. A little bit cool out, but definitely some hot racing here on the 3rd Mile Oval. Upcoming events, the 1,200-pound Nationals, sponsored by Coors at Attica Raceway Park on April 19th and 20th. Fremont Speedway, April 27th, as Lance Deweese picking up the first night of the Winternationals. Callie's Performance Hard Charger Award tonight goes to Byron Reed, passing 8 cars, going from 14th to 6th on a lightning-fast racetrack in Gibsonton, Florida. Of course, this has been a Raceway video production. Great camera work once again by Jeff Christensen, Steve Baylor, and the rest of the crew. Exciting action down in Florida. Extremely fast racing. You better believe it's going to be even faster next week, and we'll bring it to you on same dirt time, same dirt channel. This is Rick Eshelman for Jeff Christensen and Dirt Zone. Good night.